Hello friends, Larry Ortega, wellness coach, nutrition advocate, and cyclist. I had a chance to catch up with Zen Honeycutt, founding executive director of Moms Across America at the True Food Summit in Phoenix, an event that was sponsored by Children's Health Defense, the Arizona chapter. Zen has worked tirelessly to educate and empower moms and others on the state of our food system in the U.S. She's nothing short of a superhero. She's literally informed millions on how to avoid the bad stuff and the necessity to stay true to a whole food organic regimen for wellness. I asked her about glyphosate on our beans and other dry goods that one would naturally think would be free from the poisons used by industrial farms, yet come to find they are the worst. Most are loaded with heavy toxicity.
Thank you so much. I'm Zen Honeycutt of Moms Across America. We're a national coalition of unstoppable moms, and we mostly focus on the food supply, GMOs, glyphosate, toxins in the food supply. And our mission is to educate and empower mothers and others with actions and solutions to create healthy communities. Yeah, so unfortunately, anything that's dried, like peas, beans, grains, mung beans, chickpeas, all kinds of kidney beans, black beans, also oats, barley, wheat, any of those grains are often, maybe not always, but are often sprayed with glyphosate as a drying agent. And that means they call it a desiccant, and they spray the crop. They spray the crop before harvesting to speed up the harvesting process. They spray the crop before harvesting to speed up the harvesting process. And this has just been done since about 2010, so not too long. But what we're finding because of that is that there are thousands of parts per billion of glyphosate on these crops, and it does not entirely wash dry or cook off. And so what happens is we consume those glyphosate levels from, for instance, the hummus that's conventional, right, non-organic, or the pita, or the the black beans or the mung beans or the lentils, and we consume that glyphosate, and that leads to it's carcinogenic, endocrine disrupting, nervous system damage, neurotoxic, can cause reproductive damage, it can kill sperm, and of course harm the eggs, the ovaries, and reproductive damage. So it's very, very important to eat organic if you are eating any kind of dried beans or dried, any grains as well.
Amazing facts Zen shared with us, one of which was the lack of vitamin B3 and how it may cause violent behavior in people. She had a friend who had a son that made a miraculous turnaround in his behavior once he went to a nutrient-rich plant-based regimen. She shares what her findings are relative to the vitamin B3 deficiencies.
Yeah, so vitamin B3 is essential for the prefrontal cortex. Also B9 and B12 are as well. And the fast food that we tested had 0 B9 and B12, and it had such low levels of vitamin B3. And what they found when they tested and studied criminals, parolees, serial killers, was that when they got proper supplementation of vitamins and minerals, the recidivism rate switched. Instead of 70% coming back in after a year, 70% stayed out. Also, the acts of violence dropped 50 to 70% in 1 to 2 weeks when proper supplementation was given. When whole foods were given, it was the recidivism rate switched. Instead of 70% coming back in after a year, 70% stayed out when they were given whole foods. So we know what to do about violence in this country, and that is for everyone to have access to safe, non-toxic, and nutrient-dense food.
I had to thank Zen for ruining my In-N-Out French fries. Literally for decades, me, my family, and all my neighbors always thought the fries at In-N-Out were the freshest. You see them peeling the potatoes in the room and then bringing them over to be sliced into French fries. They really get you going on the freshness facade.
Oh yeah, In-N-Out fries had the highest levels of cadmium, the highest levels of glyphosate were on Panera Bread sandwiches, the highest levels of lead was in a Sonic cheeseburger. So we have a problem with heavy metals also in our fast food, and a problem with pesticides, glyphosate, veterinary drugs and hormones. Fast food needs a major overhaul. It's something I've avoided for 17 years, and I highly recommend you reconsider it as well.
Zen, where do we go from here? What can folks do on a routine basis to avoid GMOs and glyphosate?
Grow your own food as much as possible. Buy organic and local whole foods as much as you can. Support the local farmers. Ask the farmers if they're using glyphosate and other toxic chemicals. If they're not, it doesn't have to be organic. It can just, certified organic. I tend to trust the farmers if they look me in the eye and say that they're not using those chemicals. So as much as possible, eat whole foods as well. Like instead of buying, for instance, like a apple pie tart thing, then buy apples, right? And if you want to cut them up and drizzle a little bit of caramel sauce on it, make the caramel sauce at home, try to, as much as possible, eat whole foods. And you will definitely feel better, sleep better, live better, and your kids' allergies like mine will drop, and you'll have healthier kids that will be able to live up to their fullest potential.
True that, Zen. Children will only reach their full potential if they physically have their basic needs regarding nutrition. It's where everything starts. Ask anyone, from people who are on their deathbed dying to parents sick with a cold. The imperative of being armed with the right information from allies like Zen Honeycutt with moms across America is crucial. Fries at In-N-Out are bad. 93% of the school lunches are loaded with glyphosate, which is real bad stuff for our children on many levels, and is hitting them and us stealth-like. Just because our children are not falling over dead after eating glyphosate does not mean it's not harmful. This is what we learned from Zen and are counting on you to share with 2 friends. Stay tuned for our next cut from the country's top leader in the space of wellness. For more information on GMOs and the giant value of organic foods, please subscribe to this channel. Again, a big time thank you to all the folks at CHD Children's Health Defense for making this event possible. And a special shout out to Zen Honeycutt